Hello everybody, welcome back to Modern Meta Matchups, and today we have another episode featuring new cards from Modern Horizons 2. Some decks that didn't exist before, but we have them now. Today I'm going to be playing Jeskai Stoneblade, featuring Ragavan as well as the new Cauldron Complete as one of the new Stoneforge targets. And what are you going to be playing today for us, Arven?
I'm gonna be on Teamer Crashing Footfalls. It features cards like Shardless Agent, which is new to Modern, and Subtlety is the same thing. I just want to cascade into Crashing Footfalls and just kind of make 4/4s and hopefully win.
Yeah, we'll definitely see what happens there.
Oh, yeah.
And if you like our content, you might already be subscribed, you might not be, and you can check by looking at that button down there in the corner. It'll say subscribe or subscribed. Go ahead and make sure it says subscribed by the end of this if you like that content. Another thing you can do is hit that like button. Let us know we're doing a good job.
Oh yeah, and another thing is if you want to see something new or something interesting, leave us a comment. Let us know what you want to see, and we'll try to go through all the comments and see what we can put together.
Yep, and I think without any further ado, we'll go ahead and hop over to that gameplay.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, everybody, welcome to the gameplay. Arven has won the die roll, and he's been so kind as to let me go second.
Absolutely. I thought you said first there, and I'm like, no.
I was hoping to trick you.
Oh, I see. I'll keep this.
Yeah, I think I can give this a try. So looking at my opening hand here, I have a pretty decent hand. It might be a little bit light on lands though, as I only have an island as well as a flooded strand. Flooded strand's pretty good because I can get that triome and have all three colors if I need to. As far as the spells here, I have a lightning bolt, which might be able to deal with some early threat maybe. A counter spell as well as a snapcaster mage, so I can try to get some of these counters done. I also have a Teferi, which is really good in this matchup, and a Stoneforge Mystic. So I have a lot of the pieces that I want. I just need a few more lands here, and I think I can get there.
Alright, so for my game one opening hand, I have a Wooded Foothills, I have a Steam Vents, and I also have a Spirebluff Canal. So those are my lands. The rest of my cards are all creatures. I have a Bone Crusher Giant, I have a Brazen Borrower, I have a Subtlety, and I also have a Shardless Agent. That Shardless Agent's also a 2-for-1 type of spell. I'm going to keep this hand. I think it's pretty good, but we'll see how it goes. Alright, I'm going to play Wooded Foothills, and I'm just going to pass a turn.
Okay. I will draw. I'll play a Scalding Tarn.
Sure.
And then I'll send the turn back to you.
At the end of your turn, I'm going to sacrifice my fetch to grab a tapped Breeding Pool.
Sounds good.
Untap here and draw for the turn. And play a Spirebluff Canal. And pass the turn.
Right. At the end of your turn, I will sacrifice the Scalding Tarn to grab a Raugrin Triome.
You got it.
Right. We'll go to my turn then.
Yes, sir.
And I will draw, and that makes things kind of interesting.
How interesting?
Oh, not bad. That's an interesting card. And I think I'm just going to play an island. And I will attempt to cast a Stoneforge Mystic.
Your Stoneforge will resolve.
All right. And with Stoneforge, I will grab that's not in Magic yet.
I tried.
You never know with the way things are going. I think I'm going to grab Batterskull here.
You got it.
And I will go to my end step.
On your end step, I'm going to pay 2 and cast the Adventure Side of Bone Crusher Giant being stopped, targeting your Stoneforge Mystic.
Nothing I can do about that. Stoneforge will meet her end.
And Bone Crusher will hang out there on a little adventure. Draw for the turn?
Yep.
I'm going to shock in my Steam Vents here.
Alright.
Paying 3. Casting my Shardless Agent, I get a cast trigger. Just cascade.
Yep, we'll see what you cascade into. I wonder if it'll be a Footfalls.
I think that is the only legal target I have in my deck.
It's almost like the deck was built with that in mind.
It's really weird. Almost. There we go. I would like to cast my Crashing Footfalls here.
I will respond to the Footfalls.
Absolutely.
I would like to play a Force of Negation by exiling a Snapcaster Mage.
Sure. My Crashing Footfalls will go into exile, and then my agent's still on the stack?
Yep, and that will resolve.
Cool. I'm going to pass the turn.
Untap. Draw. I would like to just play this Flooded Strand.
Sure.
And I'll pass the turn to you.
Alright, let's untap and draw. Well, in that case, I would like to move to combat.
Sure thing. I will take 2.
Cool. Second main. Let's try that one more time. I get a cast trigger?
Yep.
Let's keep going. Still only 1 target. Maybe.
Yep. A lot of things that fake cost 2 mana there, but
yeah, but not
technically
actually.
they cost more. So.
And I found it once again.
And with Crashing Footfalls on the stack,
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to pay 2 mana and cast Counterspell.
What is your target?
I'm gonna target the Footfalls.
It's a little rude.
I'd rather you not have 2 4/4s here.
That's still a little rude.
Yeah, it happens.
And then my Shardless will enter. I'll play another Foothills and pass the turn right back. So even though he gets to counter my Crashing Footfalls, I still get to keep my 2/2s, and hopefully they get in from extra damage. Maybe he can't deal with them. Even if he does, it's a 2-for-1, so that works out for me.
So it's really great that I'm able to counter these Crashing Footfalls and not have to deal with a bunch of 4/4s. The problem is they leave behind these 2/2s because he's casting them off of a Shardless agent. And while a 2/2 is not really that big of a deal, they start to add up here, and I'm forced to use more and more cards to try to deal with this threat. And I'm basically 2-for-1ing myself, and it's not great. At the end of your turn, I would like to sacrifice my Flooded Strand to grab an untapped Steam Vents.
You got it.
At the end of your turn, I would like to cast a Lightning Bolt targeting the untapped Shardless agent.
In response, I'm sad. Yeah, it dies.
Untap
Sure.
and draw.
Rearrange my graveyard a bit.
This could be a mistake, but I would like to try to cast Teferi Time Raveler.
I see. Well, I'm going to respond by casting the evoke cost of Subtlety by exiling another Subtlety.
Alright.
When it enters the... Well, does it resolve, first of all?
It resolves.
When it enters, I would like to counter your Teferi.
I would put it on top.
Okay. And this is going to enter, and it's going to...
Immediately die.
Yep. Put in my graveyard. Okay, so Austin having a Teferi is not good for me because it turns off all of my Cascade and my Counterspell, so I have to cast a Subtlety just to get rid of that thing, just to keep this train rolling. Maybe I'll draw more Cascades, but we'll see how it goes.
Oh, this is bad. I really needed that Teferi. It stops Cascade. It lets me kind of reset the board. And it makes it so I can't counter things, but it didn't resolve, and that's a problem. This is not looking good.
So at the end of your turn, I'm going to sacrifice my Wooded Foothills and grab a tapped Steam Vents. Alright, so I'm going to untap here and draw for the turn. So we know there's a Teferi on top of your library, which make all of my Cascades really awkward. I'll move to combat.
Sure.
Come in for 2?
I take 2.
And in the second main, after you've taken 2, I'm going to cast Bone Crusher Giant.
Okay, that resolves.
I'm gonna pass the turn.
I'll untap.
Wonder
Draw.
what you drew.
Yeah, with 2 things on the board, it's a little bit less good though.
Yeah, that is very true. Because even if you bounce Shardless Agent or something, I just get a 2/2, but I can just kill your
Teferi and then get 2 4/4s. It sounds
that is
like,
the hope. I mean, you can do that. It's still an option.
It sounds bad. I do think that I need to play this Teferi here though.
Sure.
And I'll go ahead and do so. I'm going to immediately -3 Teferi and bounce the Bone Crusher Giant to your hand.
Crusher will go back to my hand.
And I draw a card.
Absolutely.
I'd then like to pass the turn.
Alright. Hurting on mana a bit there.
Yeah, that's I needed the card draw here. I couldn't just kind of sit idly by.
Right. Makes sense. I'm gonna play an island as land for the turn.
Yep.
Well, in that case, I'm gonna cast the Stomp again, targeting your Teferi.
I would like to respond
Absolutely.
with a Force of Negation, exiling, as much as it hurts, Counterspell.
Yikes. Well, I cannot do anything about that even if I wanted to.
So Bone Crusher will get exiled, but not on an adventure.
No, unfortunately. I'll move to combat.
Yep.
I would like to kill your Teferi with my 2/2 here.
As you like to say, Teferi has turned into a pancake.
Nice. I like this. I'd like to pass a turn.
All right, I'll untap, and draw. We like to see those.
Oh, is it a land?
It is a land
Sadness.
that I'm going to shock myself for.
Ooh, I like this.
And I would like to attempt to cast Jace the Mind Sculptor.
Can you not?
No.
Okay, well then it resolves.
Alright, I am just going to 0 Jace.
Yeah, you got it to brainstorm.
Yeah, let's see if we can find some cards
You don't
here.
want to return this back to my hand.
If Teferi was in play, I might consider it.
Okay.
As is, I'm gonna decline.
Slightly maybe not gonna lie.
And I'll just put those two back.
Okay.
And pass the turn.
At the end of your turn, I would like to flash in Brazen Borrower.
That happens.
Untap.
Yep.
Draw for the turn. Move to the combat phase.
Yep.
Borrower at Jace and 2 at you.
I take 2, and Jace also turns into a pancake with his friend Teferi the pancakes.
I'm gonna play a Scolding Tarn for land for the turn.
Sure.
I'm gonna pass.
I'll untap, draw.
Mm-hmm. I like these pancakes you got going on.
Yeah, unfortunately, Jace has shown me the future, and I don't like it.
I like this guy. I like this.
I'm just going to pass the turn.
End of your turn. I guess I'm gonna try to do this. I'm gonna flash in another Brazen Borrower. Try to put lethal into play here.
So my only realistic out here, because I know that the top card in my library is garbage, and if I attempt to counter it, nothing's going to happen. But since you're empty-handed right now, I'm going to attempt to draw 2 cards and hope that one of those cards is a lightning bolt to give me any chance at this game.
I got nothing in hand. Go for it. Survey says...
Nope.
Not a lightning
I ended up with all of my Stoneforge targets in hand. So...
That's awkward. All right.
I guess we're going to go to game 2.
Yeah, let's go to game 2.
Alright, so for the sideboarding here, I am going to be taking out a few cards so that I can bring in a few cards, as always. Cards that I'm going to take out here are a couple copies of Lightning Bolt and a Sword of Feast and Famine. Main reason for the Lightning Bolts are although they kill some of the threats, generally speaking, I can deal with those using other means, and they don't actually deal with the 4/4s at all off of the Crashing Footfalls. And Sword of Feast and Famine, while it's nice to have protection from the Footfalls creatures, doesn't actually help that much because all of your removal and everything is blue and just basically blue based. So for that reason, I'm bringing in the sword to replace that sword. For Fire and Ice, that is. Give me protection from blue and red. And then I'm also bringing in a Teferi Time Raveler because it shuts off Cascade. It lets me bounce a token if one's already in play. And it's just very nice to make it so that you can't cast all of your own counter spells against me if he is resolved. And a Test of Talents, that way I can maybe hit one of your Crashing Footfalls early on and then not have to worry about them the rest of the game.
Right, absolutely. So for my side, I'm actually just taking out some of my clunky top end, which is 2 Cryptic and 2 JTMS. I'm kind of the beatdown deck, so I want more tempo plays, which is why I'm bringing in 4 Mystical Disputes, because a lot of the cards that I'm worried about that you have is just counter spells, so I want to stop them and your Teferis. If there's a Teferi in play, I can't Cascade, my deck doesn't really do too much, so I'm more of the beatdown deck, so I'm taking out a bit of my top end and adding a little more tempo-y type cards.
All right, let's get over to game 2.
Yeah.
For game 2 here, I'm going to be kind to myself.
I see.
And go first.
Or you could be kind to me and let me go first again.
I'll be kind and let you draw a card.
No.
I think we can give this a shot.
Yeah, I'm going to mulligan this one.
Looking at my hand here in game 2, it's pretty good. It looks kind of reminiscent of game 1, which didn't go so well. Hopefully things will be different this time, but I have to keep this. I have 2 lands, Hallowed Fountain, as well as a Spire Bluff Canal, so I have all my colors. I also have some 2-drops with Stoneforge Mystic and Counterspell, which both very good. I have a Teferi, which I really want in this matchup, as well as a Force of Negation, which can maybe let me tap out and still have some protection, and a Cryptic Command.
Alright, so I'm on the London 6, yet I still get to see 7 here.
Like you do.
Of course.
Better than the first hand?
It is better. I will definitely keep this, and I'm going to put this card to the bottom. All right, so for game 2 in my opening hand, I have some lands. I have 2 Misty Rainforests, and I also have a Wooded Foothills. For my spells, I do have a Force of Negation, and I also have a Mystical Dispute. Unfortunately, I did have to mulligan, so I did have 2 Mystical Disputes, so 1 went on the bottom of my library, and I also had a Bone Crusher Giant. This hand's decent. We'll see how it goes.
All right, let's go ahead and lead things off with a mighty tapped Hallowed Fountain.
Okay, I like that. I'm gonna draw my card. Okay. I'm going to play a Misty Rainforest and pass the turn.
Oh, untap and draw. Let's go for a Spirebluff Canal.
Sure.
And I would like to play a Stoneforge Mystic.
That resolves.
Okay. Stoneforge is going to grab me a Batterskull.
Okay.
And after that, I'll pass the turn.
Well, on your end step, I'm going to sacrifice my Misty here and grab a tapped Breeding Pool.
Sure thing.
Alright, so I'm going to untap and draw for the turn. Well, let's see if you got it. I'm actually going to shock myself here.
Sure thing.
And I'm going to attempt to cast Stomp on your Stoneforge Mystic.
I don't think I want that to happen.
That's a little rude.
And I know you want me to say, but it has to. But instead, I'm going to cast a Force of Negation using this cryptic command here.
Yeah, I was hoping you didn't have it. Yeah, that happens. Bone Crusher goes into exile permanently.
Yep.
And I'll pass.
Untap and draw.
Yikes.
You love to see that one.
I was really hoping you didn't have it there.
How many cards we got in hand over there?
I have a few. I have 5.
5.
I have at least a few.
I think we're going to go with the Misty Rainforest here.
Sure.
And I would like to take some damage and find an untapped Hallowed Fountain.
Okay.
And this time we'll see if you have it.
Okay.
I'll pay 3 mana and attempt to cast Teferi Time Raveler.
How did you put that? I don't like this to happen. I'm going to cast my own force and exiling this Mystical Dispute, which really hurts.
Yeah, that happens.
Cool.
Teferi will get exiled as well.
Awesome. I like this.
And I think Stoneforge is going to get into the red zone.
I have no blocks.
Take 1. I'll pass the turn.
All right, draw for the turn here. Well, I'm gonna play a Misty Rainforest. I'm gonna sacrifice it and grab a basic island.
You got it.
All right, so now since you're tapped out, I would like to cast Shardless Agent. Cascade trigger.
Yeah.
Right. Let's see how. I don't have to go too far down. I would like to cast this.
I would like to respond.
Yeah, absolutely.
With sadness.
It goes on the stack and fizzles. Anything else?
No, you get 2 4/4s.
Here's 4/4/1, and I'm going to use this to represent it, and then Shardless entries.
Yep.
I'd like to pass the turn.
Sure thing. I'll untap and draw.
Fortunately, you do have a Batterskull in hand, which can gain you some life.
Yeah, and this top deck's not terrible here.
Not good.
I'd like to pay 1 mana
Mm-hmm.
of the white variety. I'll cast a Prismatic Ending targeting one of your 4/4s.
That goes for it.
And I'll send the turn back to you.
Alright, so you can flash in your Batterskull here, which is a little unfortunate. I think I still have to do this. I'll move to combat.
Sure.
I'll come in for 4.
I'll take 4.
Okay. What damage?
Yep.
I'm going to play Wooded Foothills.
You got it.
And pass the turn.
At the end of your turn, I'd like to activate Stoneforge Mystic.
Yep.
Put Batterskull into play.
I have no effects.
Alright, Batterskull has a nice little living weapon.
It is. It's
And I get a
4/4.
Phyrexian Germ token.
Two.
Go to my turn.
Yep.
Untap
4/4 with Light Link and Vigilance.
and draw.
Yikes.
Alright. I'd like to go to combat.
Sure.
I'll take for 4.
I have no blocks.
I gain 4 life, you lose 4
I
life.
do.
I'll play a Misty Rainforest. I would like to sacrifice this Misty Rainforest for an untapped island.
I got no effects. You got it.
And I will pay 2 mana
Mm-hmm.
and attempt to cast another Stoneforge Mystic.
Okay, so that's a little frustrating because I know you have some powerful weapons. So I would like to cast Mystical Dispute, targeting the Stoneforge Mystic. Or unless you pay 3 mana.
You have one card left in your hand?
And you only have one as well.
I think it's worth just playing my own counter spell here.
Would you like to target the Stoneforge?
While that is a legal target, I would like to target the Mystical Dispute.
Yeah, all right, that happens. Yeah, your Stoneforge resolves.
That's pretty much the best thing that could have happened here. I ran him out of all of his cards. I also don't really have any cards at this point, but I'm about to get that Cauldron because of the Stoneforge entering. That's going to resolve now because I only had 2 mana, but Counterspell was able to save the day, and I think this is going to pretty much seal the deal unless he can draw something really good here.
Oh, he countered my Mystical Dispute. That's so bad. Now he gets to get his Cauldron. I have very few outs of this game. I don't know what I'm going to do about this thing. I need to draw something really good here. I don't know what I can draw.
All right, when this Stoneforge enters, I will grab Cauldron Complete.
You got it. All right, so with that, at the end of your turn, I'm going to sacrifice my fetch land here and grab a tapped Steam Vents.
You got it.
All right, we're going to need a good draw here. Give me something. Okay. That is a draw.
Okay.
I think I'm just going to play a basic island and pass the Yule turn.
Sounds good. I'll untap.
Yep, and now we have a Cauldron.
Draw. Not gonna lie, that's a pretty good draw.
No, that's not good.
I would like to activate Stoneforge Mystic.
Yep.
I would like to put this Cauldron Complete into play.
I have no effects.
We don't have any more germ tokens, so this one's just going to be a die, denoting
absolutely.
its current power and toughness. I'd like to go to combat.
4 attackers are declared.
Yep.
I'm going to pay 2 mana. I'd like to cast Ice, targeting the Cauldron.
I would like to pay 2 mana and play another counter spell.
That's so bad for me. Yeah, absolutely.
Also known as that good draw that I had this turn.
I was really hoping it'd be something else there. Yep.
I would like to attack you with Cauldron and Batterskull.
Okay, well, I can't handle you keep attacking with Batterskull, so I'll put my 4/4 in front of your Batterskull and take 5.
All right, sounds good. I will gain 4 life.
Yep, and the beast or the rhino will die, and so will the germ token here.
Yep, and we'll just go ahead and move this germ over here for
absolutely.
now. I have a Batterskull not attached to anything, and a couple of Stoneforges. Go ahead.
We need a good draw.
We're both in top deck mode. I like my position on the board a little bit better.
Considering I drew a Scalding Tarn, yeah.
I see.
Yeah, I'm just dead on board here.
Well, maybe not on board, but close enough, probably.
I mean, you can attach here and kill me, because even if I block, trample...
It costs 5 to attach.
Oh, you're right. But even then, it's an up.
I guess you are. This does have trample. You are dead on board because I just attack with everything, and you have no blocks.
Nope. All right, let's go to game 3.
I forgot about trample.
All right, so for game 3, I'll be on the play once again, because it seems like it's a pattern here. If you go first, you win. So, hopefully, okay.
I see.
Well,
then can I go first? I'd like to win.
No.
Oh.
But I actually am going to keep this hand, though.
I will not keep this hand.
So for game 3, my hand actually isn't too bad. I have a Spirebluff Canal, I have an island, and I have a Stomping Grounds. The only thing I'm a little disappointed about is I do have a Gemstone Cavern, but I'm going first, so I don't really get to ramp, but it's fine. For my spells, I do have a Crashing Footfalls. I'm going to have to suspend it here probably. We'll see how that goes. I also have a Mystical Dispute and a Violent Outburst, so hopefully I can get more 4/4s into play, or we'll see how it goes.
That first hand was a little bit rough. We'll see if hand number 2 here looks any better.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a plan. I'll keep this.
Okay.
I'll put this to the bottom here. So for game 3 here, I unfortunately had to take a mulligan. I only had 2 basic islands and couldn't really cast much in that first hand. So for this hand, I have 3 lands. I have 2 Scalding Tarns as well as a Spirebluff Canal. So I'm pretty much guaranteed to be able to cast most things in my deck based on my opening hand here. As far as what's in my hand, I have a Stoneforge Mystic, as well as a Jace the Mind Sculptor and a Batterskull. So maybe I'll be able to catch him off guard and not fetch up that Batterskull and still put it into play if everything goes according to plan. The last card in my hand, which is now not in my hand anymore, it's on the bottom, is a Cryptic Command.
All right, so I'm actually gonna shock myself here.
Ooh, that's interesting.
It is, and I'm gonna suspend this card.
Yeah, it's got 4 time counters on it.
Yes, sir. Last turns. After 4 turns, it is gonna come off for free.
All right, sounds like you've got a plan.
A little bit. It's something of a plan-ish.
I'll play a Scalding turn.
Sure.
And I'll pass the turn.
So on tap, this goes to 3 times.
Yep.
Interesting. Well then, suspend the second one.
I see. Yep, that happens.
Okay. This is gonna have 4 time counters on it, and I'm gonna play Gemstone Cavern. Pass.
At the end of your turn, I'll go ahead and grab that Raugrin Triumph with the Scalding turn here.
You got it.
We'll untap and draw. We will go with the Spirebluff Canal.
Sure.
I would like to cast a Stoneforge Mystic.
Yeah, that resolves.
I will grab a Sword of Fire and Ice. And I would like to pass the turn.
All right, I'm gonna untap in both of these. This one goes to 1, and this one goes, or I'm sorry, goes to 2, and this one goes to 3. Draw for the turn.
Yep, I can see my life ticking away.
I'm gonna also play a Spirebluff Canal here.
Sure.
And I'd like to pass.
You got it. We'll untap.
Sword of Fire and Ice in hand.
Draw.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to play a Scalding Tarn.
Okay.
And then I'm going to pass the turn.
At the end of your turn, I would like to cast Violent Outburst.
I see. That has a cascade trigger.
It does. The Cascade.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick up the deck here because I already have 2, so it might be a minute till I get to the 3rd one. Okay.
Maybe you took 2 out.
I really hope not. Otherwise, this is a 3-mana do nothing. Here we go.
How low will you go?
Very.
How low will you go?
Very low. Very, very low.
All right. How many cards you got left in your deck?
Not that many. Here we go. Here we go. Right there. Come on. Okay, I was gonna say I had 2 cards left. It had to be one.
Well,
of those.
that means unless you have 1 in hand, he's drawing another Crashing Footfalls in the next 2
Born
draws.
Unknown, correct. I could have a fetch land. You never know.
You could have another Footfalls in your hand, but
Let's not
really
confuse
sure.
these. I would like to cast the Crashing Footfalls here.
Yeah, that happens,
I'm gonna
unfortunately.
make 2 4/4s.
Yep.
Perfect. And a few more turns of hopefully if their buddies are going to be coming down.
Yeah, I don't like it, but it happens. Another. How do you have so many of those? Like, this is not easy to deal with. Those rhinos are very, very big.
Okay, this is not bad. I get a Crashing Footfalls here, and I also have 2 more on suspend. Austin's got to find something good, or otherwise he's going to have 6 rhinos he has to deal with. I'm feeling pretty good about my position right now. We'll see how it goes. So this will go to the graveyard, and this will resolve. Does nothing.
No, they're 5/4s until the end of turn.
Yeah, that's true. I'll go to my turn.
Yep.
Untap. This goes to 1, and this goes to 2.
Yep.
Draw for the turn. Move to the combat phase of my turn.
Sure thing.
I'd like to come in for a mighty 8.
I will take 8.
Okay, take 8. Then I'm going to play a basic island and pass the turn.
At the end of your turn, I would like to activate Stoneforge Mystic.
Yeah, you got it.
I'd like to put this Batter Skull into play.
Ooh, that's what you had.
Yep.
That's rough. Yeah, Batter Skull, I mean, that happens.
Maybe Germ attached.
You do.
And I would also like to sacrifice my Scalding Tarn to grab a tapped Hollowed Fountain.
Sure.
Alright, so we'll go to my untap and draw.
Absolutely. I was really hoping you just had the Fire and Ice, not anything else there.
Yeah, I was able to get that Fire and Ice because I did have this Germ.
I was wondering why you grabbed that. Like, maybe he has something. I mean, it is what it is.
I'll start things off with going to combat.
Sure.
I'd like to attack for 4.
I have no blocks. I'll take 4 and you gain 4.
Sounds good to me. Even things out a little bit.
Yeah.
I'll play Misty Rainforest as land for turn.
Sure.
I would like to attempt to cast a Prismatic Ending for X equals 0, targeting one of your 4/4s.
I have no effects. That's going to happen. 4/4 disappear.
I will sacrifice my Misty Rainforest to grab an island.
Sure.
I think I'm actually just going to pass the turn here.
All right. On the end step, I'm going to cast Stomp, targeting your Stoneforge Mystic.
I will respond
Sure.
by putting the Sword of Fire and Ice into play.
You got it.
And
two
then
damage.
2 damage happens.
Alright, this will also hang out here in exile. So I'm going to go to untap.
Yep.
These will trigger on my upkeep. So this will go to 0 and this will go to 1. I would like to cast this one for free.
You got it.
Perfect. I'm going to make 2 4/4s with summoning. And I'm going to draw for the turn.
Yep.
Okay. Interesting. Combat.
Sure.
And for 4.
I'll take the 4.
Okay. Take 4. Second main here. I'd like to suspend the 4th one.
Yeah, we knew that you were going to either have that in hand or draw it by now. So
Yeah.
there it is.
And I'm also going to shock myself here.
Sure thing.
And pay 3 mana. And I would like to attempt to cast my Bone Crusher Giant.
Ah, I see. We've got a Mystical Dispute in hand.
Potentially.
That happens still at the end of your turn.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go ahead and lose 2 life so that I can target your Bone Crusher.
Trigger.
I'm losing 2.
Yep. That makes sense. And Bone Crusher will go immediately to the graveyard.
All right.
And continue with your turn. Or me passing the turn.
Untap and draw. I would like to equip Sword of Fire and Ice.
Mm-hmm. Happens now when it deals combat damage. What does that
To
one
you,
do?
it deals 2 damage to any target, and I draw a card.
Yep, and has protection from blue and red. Notably not green.
Notably not green. That's correct. I think I'll just pass the turn.
You got it. Now untap. So this one goes to 3, and this one will come off suspend. I'd like to make 2 more 4/4s.
You get to make 2 more 4/4s, unfortunately.
That's a lot of 4/4s you got to deal with.
No, at least I have a 6/6.
Yeah, that's gonna be difficult.
That has protection from all of your ability to do anything.
Yeah, that is very true. So these 2 have summoning sickness. 3 do not.
Correct.
I think I'm just going to pass the turn here.
I'll untap.
Mm-hmm.
Draw.
How many cards do you have in hand now?
I've got 4.
4, huh? Okay.
I think I have to pass the turn again, unfortunately.
End of your turn. I'm gonna pay 2 mana here.
Sure.
I actually have to tap colors for that one. And I would like to cast Fire and deal 2 damage to you.
I take 2.
Untap. This will go to 2.
You got it.
Profit. Okay, so what can you possibly have? May I see your graveyard, please?
Yep. I think the only things relevant are a bolt and a prismatic ending, maybe.
What I'm worried about is a Snapcaster Mage here.
I see.
Alrighty then, so I would like to move to the combat phase of my turn.
That is fine with me.
I'm gonna turn everything sideways. You got 5 4/4s with trample coming at you.
Alright. I have a response.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would like to pay 2 mana to flash in a Snapcaster Mage.
I would like to cast Mystical Dispute, creating the Snapcaster Mage.
I would like to cast a Force of Negation, exiling this Jace the Mind Sculptor.
You got it. So the only legal target that you have is Lightning Bolt?
Well, technically I can target other things. It just
That's true.
won't be able to be cast.
Okay, so then this will go into exile.
So Snapcaster resolves.
Snapcaster will resolve.
All right, when it enters, I will target this lightning bolt.
Okay. I would like to move to blockers, I suppose.
Before blocks,
Mm-hmm.
I'll go ahead and pay a red, and I would like to lightning bolt one of your 4/4s.
Yeah. This one has taken 3 damage.
This lightning bolt gets exiled.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to pay 1 to lightning bolt that same 4/4.
I'm going to respond.
Sure.
So you block here, you will gain 6. You will go to 11, 4, 8, 12. I'd like to tap down your Snapcaster Mage in response.
Yeah, that happens.
And I get to draw a card here. So draw here, and this will finally die. And I think that's lethal because you have no cards in hand.
So I block, I gain 6, go to 11, and I take 12 and go to -1.
GG's.
Well, those were some pretty good games, pretty close games, especially game 3 there.
Yeah, that game 3 was a lot of fun. I didn't know which way it was going to go for a minute there.
Yeah, I think if I had resolved a little bit more, or you didn't have that mystical dispute I knew about, maybe things would have gone a little bit differently and I could have swung things, but
Absolutely. I think
alas, too many 4/4s.
Yeah, I think so too. Like that dispute helped me out, but me having all my footfalls just kind of kept putting you under pressure.
Yeah, not much else we can say there.
No.
And if you made it this far, I'm sure you liked that video. You can let us know again just by hitting that like button. And if you want to subscribe, make it a little bit easier, you can go ahead and hit that button right there.
And if you want to see our next video, it's going to be right around there.